My name is Lauren Hay, and my case study question is: how does attention deficit hyperactivity disorder impact a student's behavior and learning ability? So, first of all, what is ADHD? ADHD is a neurobiological disorder and it affects about 12% of students. It's similar to ADD, except ADHD includes hyperactivity. So there's three major types. The first one is predominantly focusing on hyperactivity. The second is inattentiveness, and the last is a combination of both. So we aren't exactly sure what causes ADHD, but scientists have identified some risk factors, and some of those risk factors are that it can be inherited through your genes, smoking exposure during pregnancy, being born with a low birth rate, or having a brain injury. So first of all, how does it impact the student's behavior? And that's in three ways. The first is inattention, not being able to focus in class or pay attention. The second is hyperactivity, always moving, not being able to sit still or focus. And the last is impulsivity, acting out in class, bad behavior, not following rules. So how does it affect their learning? So first of all, the inattentiveness causes students with ADHD not being able to focus in class, not being able to pay attention to what the teacher's saying while she's giving instructions. And that can affect their learning. They're not being able to go back and recall what the teacher said because they weren't always paying attention. Secondly, it could be impulsivity, acting out in class. A lot of times when students act out in class, they are taken out of class, which takes away from their learning in that they're not able to be there because maybe they have to miss class because they had bad behavior. The third is language processing deficits. Talking especially about reading comprehension, not being able to understand what they're reading sometimes. If the teacher gives instructions written on homework and a student with ADHD can't recall or understand what the teacher is saying by the directions, this can impact their learning, not being able to complete assignments or understand what the teacher is trying to relay for information. So number 4 is poor organizational skills, losing papers, not being able to keep track of stuff. Number 5 is poor memory, not being able to recall maybe what the teacher said, or not being able to recall basic math facts, which can go along with difficulty learning. And last is having poor fine motor skills, especially in the handwriting, having messy handwriting, sometimes hard for the teacher to read, or even for them to read when they go back and read their notes. So this is a quote. It talks about how students with ADHD are developmentally behind as much as 30% in certain areas. And this translates into a delay of 4 to 6 years for some teenagers. So it just shows how far behind some of them can get. And lastly, how can you help if you have a student with ADHD, or how can the parents help with a student with ADHD? So parents can plan meetings with the teacher, stay caught up with what their child is doing, create goals with your child, and adding a reward system to go along with that, rewarding them when they make achievements. Set a daily routine and provide reminders to help them remember. Thank you.